Greetings to tutor who is going to evaluate the project 2 of Theories of Asian Architecture, which is also titled Research in Asia Architecture. We're from Group 2 and I'm Paul. I'm going to present for the start. Our research topic is methods to preserve and prevent the loss of the culture identity of the Lee Thai wet market located in Jalan Tun HSD. For the outline, we have consists of 4 topics, which is also, including introduction, place identity, case study, and potential solutions, and also conclusion. Firstly, I will be talking about background of Jalan Tun HSD. Jalan Tun HSD is located in the heart of downtown KL. It's a 1.8 km street that has witnessed 2 major events in KL's history, and is also a street that embodies Chinese spirit, as is composed of mostly Chinese since the past till now. Abstract. The purpose of conducting a study on the Lee Thai wet market is to understand the problems that lead to the loss of culture and place identity of the wet market. Our study emphasizes on the culture and place identity of the wet market through literature reviews and observations on site, and potential solutions are identified through case study analysis. Traditional markets have a crucial function in society. Other than being a place where people interact in trading economics activities, it also holds memories and culture for the local communities. The local cultures are reflected on the traditional cuisines, business, and the architectural style of the entrance, hence reflecting the cultural place identity of the market. However, such significant attributes are affected by urbanization that lead to change of the market. Thus, Lee Thai wet market is forced to change in various ways in order to attract more customers and tourists, which resulted in the loss of authenticity and cultures. This study proposes solutions in improving the wet market's tangible and intangible content by implementing high ceiling, semi-transparent roof, and Chinese lanterns. Encourage participants of young generations with variety of activity. Maintain originality of Chinese architecture entrance as the potential solution to preserve the culture and place identity of the market. In conclusion, the rich culture and place identity of the wet market should be preserved. This study hopes to offer reference of strategies to revitalize the market. Problem statement. After an observation, we have discovered a series of problems, both tangible and intangible, that cause the loss of culture and place identity at the Lee Thai wet market. Firstly, modernization has changed the identity of the wet market to a tourist attraction, with the people trying to adapt to the situation in order to attract more tourists for business sales. In the culture aspect of problems, the existing local business in the market are operated by foreigners, which cause the loss of authenticity, thus visitors from local community declines. Next, the physical context of the market's dark alleys, making it an uncomfortable place and not user-friendly. Last but not least, the entrance has a weak representation of Chinese culture architecturally. Next, I'll pass it on to Eric for the conceptual framework.
This is our conceptual framework. We have separated the conceptual framework into 2 categories, which is culture and place identity. The conceptual framework allows us to identify the important elements of the Lee Thai wet market that we should preserve, which are the traditional feminine business, local traditional cuisines, local communities that visit the market, and Chinese architectural style of entrance. We have also evaluated the existing issue that threaten the culture and place identity of the wet market, which is the migration of young generations, loss of authenticity, poor physical condition, and weak representation of culture. And based on the issue, we have also formed a series of potential solutions. Now we'll move on to research question. First, to what extent has modernization affected culture and place identity of the wet market? To what extent does the organization of space in the Lee Thai wet market affected accessibility and activities of the customer and business owner? How does authenticity of local culture and place identity, such as traditional cuisines, get affected when most of the stores operate by foreign workers? Lastly, how does poor sensory condition contribute to lower place connectedness? Moving on to methodology, first we have literature review, which is our main source of info, and through reviewing online articles and e-book journals to understand the basic idea of preserving culture and place identity. Case study help us to guide us on the potential solution for a problem existing in the Lee Thai wet market. Analysis is done through literature review and observation of site, identify the factors that lead to loss of culture and place identity. Next, I'll pass it to Ye Hong.
Next, we'll move on to the definition of culture and place identity of the wet market. Cultural characteristics are often defined as language, religion, cuisines, social habits, clothing, and so on. Place identity, a place that formed and designed by people according to locals' lifestyle and preferences. Place identity can be portrayed through architecture, regional life, local community, and culture that distinguish a region from the other. What is the culture and place identity of the market? The culture and place identity of the wet market could be seen from the local stores and cuisines. The stores are family businesses which have the tradition of passing down from one generation to the next, so the tradition can be maintained to avoid loss of culture and authenticity. The local traditional cuisine of the hawker stalls that evoke the locals' memories. Front entrance features a Chinese-style gateway with pillars symbolizing prosperity and good fortune with a display of Chinese characters. The gateway expresses the local Chinese influence architecturally with its local location context Chinatown. Next, I'll pass it to Keith.
The first research question is, to what extent has modernization affect culture and place identity of the wet market? Loss of original architecture styles due to modernization has led to higher influx of tourists, which cause owners to hire more foreign workers. A potential solution to this issue is to strengthen Chinese architectural styles by using resting hills roofs, which can be analyzed in these two case studies, which is the Kuromon and the Temple Street Night Market. Furthermore, strengthening Chinese elements through the use of ornaments such as the Chinese dragons and the Chinese lanterns are also prevalent. For the second research question, it states, to what extent does the organization of spaces in the Lam Thai wet market affect the accessibility and activities of the customers and business owners? Unorganized layout and unhygienic surrounding cause accessibility to be inconvenient and full of pests, as you can see in the right-hand pictures. The potential solution to combat this would be reorganizing spaces in the wet market into 4 different sections based on their business activities, as well as building wider paths and shelter loading docks. In this case study, you can see an example of market congestion in Salaman traditional market. So moving on, I'll pass to Lee Anson.
For research question 3, we are exploring on how the authenticity of local cultures and place identity like local cuisines get affected when they are operated by foreign workers. There will be a loss in traditional heritage skills such as traditional techniques of cooking, and this will also lead to the change of locals' view of authentic food. One of the ways we can bring back and preserve the culture and place identity of the market is to encourage the participation of young generations with a variety of activities. We can provide support on younger generation opening businesses and help young people develop the lost skills and experiences through various activities or competition. We can also engage and promote interest to young generation in learning traditional cuisine dishes. The pictures on the right is how a market in South Korea succeeded in attracting many young people to the market. The next research question is how the poor sensorial conditions contribute to lower overall place connectedness. The alley in the Lam Thai wet market is dark and narrow due to the solid roof and the lack of lighting. There's also no visible element that represents the culture in the place. Customers will feel less attached to this place now than before, as the sense of nostalgic ambience of lights and atmosphere is now gone, leading to the loss of local customers. We can counter this problem by installing higher ceiling with semi-transparent clear roof and Chinese lanterns to allow natural lighting in the interior space as well as invoking a feeling of openness. The Chinese lanterns will light up the darker areas and reflect the Chinese culture. The case study pictures on the right side shows how they utilize the high ceiling and transparent clear roof. Next, I'll pass on to Jin Kai.
For the challenges, in terms of tourism influences, Jalan Tun HSD has been commercialized due to tourism, which lead to modification of heritage into modernized form. This is a threat to the traditional form and also its culture and place identity, as architecture able to convey its local culture and place identity visually. Concerns of authenticity of the heritage will be sacrificed. Modernization changes are implemented in architecture to attract the tourists. In terms of diversity in architecture, due to the history and diversity of architecture context in Jalan Tun HSD, people's belief to authenticity is different. This leads to people being not sensitive to certain loss of culture and place identity. In Lee Lam Thai wet market, as Jalan Tun HSD has a various architecture display different cultures. For the conclusion, throughout our study, we found out that the past memories and the culture of the local communities had been lost in Lee Lam Thai wet market, causing the place identity to no longer be preserved, as new generations forget about the beautiful culture of their ancestors. The market's appearance had also been destroyed, leaving a negative impact to the outsiders. In conclusion, it is important for us to preserve the culture and place identity of the market. Through this study, we have found a huge meaning in historical value to the site, Jalan Tun HSD. From this, we propose solution improving the wet market's tangible and intangible context, improving the environment as well as bringing back the originality of the Chinese elements in the wet market. All in all, this study hopes to revitalize the market and preserve the long-lost culture and identity of this place. For the references, here are some of the references that we found throughout our study. Thank you. That's all for our presentation.